friends, have done behind the scenes. Absolutely incredible. Just can't thank you enough. So as we know, under Governor Ron DeSantis, Florida is absolutely steadfast a law and order state. That must never change. It will never change. Each day, our men and women in law enforcement agencies are actively disrupting criminal networks, traffic dangerous narcotics into our communities. They threaten the safety of Floridians, especially our family and children. You know, this is a moment when I always want to make sure we do something that I wish we did more, and that's recognize the people behind the badge. We often think about how hard the work is, what they do in the community, how hard they push to protect us. But we don't talk enough about the man or the woman, the husband or wife, the son or the daughter behind that badge. We owe them all of the time, tools, and training necessary to complete their mission, to do great things like we're talking about here today, but more importantly, complete that mission and get home safely to their families. So for those of you who serve, thank you for what you do. I want you to know from the bottom of our heart, it matters. We appreciate you, and we're going to recognize you each day, every day. And when you hear me say it, I want you to know it's true. We appreciate what you do. We appreciate what your families go through, and God bless each of you. So on October 5th, 2025, the DEA's West Palm Beach office alerted the FHP on intelligence regarding a semi-truck suspected of transporting narcotics from Mexican-Texas border into South Florida. Acting swiftly on this intelligence, the Criminal Interdiction Unit from the FHP located the vehicle traveling southbound on the Florida Turnpike and conducted a lawful traffic stop for inspection. During the inspection, inspectors found this. Now, I've done a lot of things around the planet, but I've never seen a wall built of cocaine before. What that shows you is 173 kilos, 146 bricks, and an approximate $14.7 million value. That's right here. That's what these men and women in law enforcement did together. They found a concealed trap door containing all of that. This is what happens when our local, state, and federal assets work together. Teamwork makes the dream work, all the best things we learned in kindergarten, right? We've said that before. But think about how hard they had to work, what went down to yield this. You know, it's amazing what happens in our nation and in our state when the federal government and the state government are aligned on principles, on values, and on action. This case is part of a much broader pattern of success under Governor DeSantis' leadership in combating the drug trafficking problem across our state and across this nation. Since 2019, our FHP has recovered over 14,000 kilograms of illegal narcotics, 925 kilograms of cocaine within that, 23.5 kilograms of fentanyl, 14 kilograms of heroin, 9,600 kilograms of marijuana, and 19 kilograms of MDMA. Florida will continue to lead with decisive action, unwavering enforcement, and strategic partnerships to dismantle the trafficking operations. Under Governor DeSantis, we remain committed to protecting our communities and ensuring the criminal enterprises have no safe haven in this state. Let me make this clear. If you bring that junk to the state of Florida, our law enforcement will find you, they'll hold you accountable, and you're going to be prosecuted. If, when found guilty, you're going to go to jail. Don't bring it here. Don't harm our communities. Don't harm our families. I want to thank each of you for being here today. I also want to say one more time, work well done. Thank you for what you do in the community, our men and women around us. And I'm going to bring up Director Dave Kerner. Dave's going to speak, and then he's also going to bring up our next speaker. Thank you.
Lieutenant Governor Jay Collins, thank you so much for particularly the kind words and passion that you've expressed about our law enforcement officers of this state and our federal partners at the DEA and the FBI and all of our federal family partners. I had the opportunity recently to be in St. Lucie County, no, it was Brevard County actually, and we were working on an immigration enforcement operation with Homeland Security and ICE, and the Lieutenant Governor was kind enough to show up at that operation, and it wasn't for press, it wasn't for media, it was to spend time with our state troopers. He was in the patrol car, he was assisting in the arrest process, he was engaged, and that comes from my personal perspective, Lieutenant Governor, from your passion for supporting the men and women in law enforcement in this state. And so we're honored to be here with you. We're honored to be here with our DEA partners and our FBI partners. We know that without your professionalism, without your diligence, and without your assistance, Florida Highway Patrol would not have been able to participate in this investigation and ultimately the recovery of just untold amounts of destruction and harm to our communities here in Palm Beach County and beyond. And to the West Palm Beach Police Department, Chief, I know you on a personal level. I want to say, as a resident of Palm Beach County and a native of Palm Beach County, how deeply appreciative we are of your leadership at the West Palm Beach Police Department. Mayor, you did an excellent job in your selection, and we're all very proud of the work that you're doing for these men and women in uniform. But just as important is your leadership in ensuring the working relationship with our federal partners and state partners remains as strong as it has ever been, and that is evidenced by your leadership and the leadership of your officers that were actually the ones to in the fullest sense of the word, really complete this investigation. We know that we were assisted by the DEA, we were assisted by the Florida Highway Patrol, we were assisted by the FBI, but as I understand the investigation, it was the City of West Palm Beach's investigators that did a lot of the work as a task force officer on part of the DEA task force. So we're thankful for your leadership. And the Lieutenant Governor kind of hit really what I wanted to talk about for just one moment, and that is that when the President's priorities, enforcement priorities, are aligned with the governor's priorities in enforcement, as we have here between Governor DeSantis and President Trump, those are the people's priorities. That is public safety. That is the whole of government approach, where things like this can get stopped in their tracks and bad people can go to jail. I'm reminded of, I know that we're here specifically on this particular case, but I'm reminded of a case that happened in August of this year that involved the Florida Highway Patrol. It involved Homeland Security, the DEA, the United States Coast Guard, Customs and Border Protection, and Florida Fish and Wildlife Commission, St. Lucie County Sheriff's Office, Broward County Sheriff's Office. All of these agencies participated in basically an undercover investigation netting the interception of 31 Chinese nationals, 4 Bahamian nationals, 3 vessels, and 168 kilos of cocaine in St. Lucie County coming in across the Atlantic Ocean through the Caribbean. That's over 300 kilograms of cocaine intercepted in just a couple of months right here in our community. That's 40, trying to do the math here, that's 35 people that were being smuggled into this country, most likely against their will, and probably not for vacation, probably to be put into forced labor of some sort. So we had the opportunity to liberate them. And so that is the result of enforcement priorities being aligned as between the federal, state, and local governments. And we are honored to be a part of this moment where our law enforcement officers, on behalf of the Florida Highway Patrol, we are honored to be part of a system of criminal justice that allows us to do our job and allows us to put bad people in jail and to be supported by leaders like the Lieutenant Governor, like the Governor of the state of Florida, Governor Ron DeSantis, and President Trump. We are thankful to operate in those spaces, not just because these men and women get to put bad people in jail. We get to live in safer communities. This is my hometown. I was born right down the street at Good Samaritan Hospital. I have seen the effects of unabated importation of narcotics into our communities across an open border in the past. Those days are over, and this is a result of those efforts and that leadership. So, Lieutenant Governor, thank you for taking the time to recognize these men and women. I'm so proud of the Florida Highway Patrol, as I always am, but of the entire team as well. And so with that, it is my honor to have Chief Tony Araujo come and make some words. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Commissioner. I want to thank Governor DeSantis, Lieutenant Governor, for being here, our Mayor, Keith James. Your unwavering support to law enforcement does not go unnoticed. We can't do this without you. Thank you. I just want to echo what's been said to our federal partners, the FBI, ATF, and especially DEA. We value our partnership. To the crew that you don't see up here, thank you. and to those behind me and the many that are not here that contributed to this, including professional staff, know this, that your efforts are greatly appreciated and never taken for granted. And for those of you that are pushing poison in our country, in our state, in our city, in our county, beware. We're on 24/7. And we're not going to take anything lying down. If you're here to poison our people, our children, our neighbors, our friends, look over your shoulder. The collaboration with Florida law enforcement is the best I've seen in a long time. We've always worked together, and now our governance is facilitating some of that work. So again, thank you. Thank you again. And to the agents, again, incredible work, FHP, everybody. Thank you.
Chief, thank you for those comments and echoing what we've been saying here. Before we go to some Q&A, I want to touch base on just a couple of things. So you heard Director Kerner mention the bust just up the road a little bit here. How incredible is that when government's gone right? You know, I have a good friend who has a Twitter handle of government gone wrong, government gone wild, right? This is what government looks like when it's at its best. Local, state, and federal assets who all work together to protect our people. What an incredible moment. It's one of those things that we have to talk more about. This is good. Kudos to President Trump and his administration for setting a tone, a standard, and allowing law enforcement to work together to put them out there and get the job done. And again, kudos to Director Kerner, to the DEA partners, to you, Chief, and to everybody in our federal government who is a part of doing these things. But I want to say one more thing. When we talk about having our law enforcement's back, if you threaten our law enforcement, if you put them in harm's way, if you dox them or anything else, we will find you, you will be held accountable. That is our local police, that is our state assets, and that is certainly our federal assets. Whether it doesn't matter if it's the FBI, ICE, whether it's the men and women behind us, we have their back without equivocation. Don't do it, don't risk it, don't hurt people who serve our community. And with that, I want to say thank you for being here. God bless each of you. God bless the free state of Florida. And do you have some questions? Anybody?
Mr. Kerner.
Dave.
Is the department using commercial vehicle inspections to find undocumented migrants?
We are. The Florida Highway Patrol is using every asset and every strategy and every tactic to interact with and apprehend under 287G people that are in this country unlawfully.
Yeah, and you know, let's talk a little bit about the 287G agreements. Obviously, we know Florida is leading the way on that across the nation. We have put our money where our mouth is. President Trump has been very clear that he wants the states to step up and do things. Governor DeSantis is leading from the front on this. We are working in every single county to use our 287G agreements to maximize those, to take care of something that, frankly, is not a Republican issue. It's not a Democratic issue. It's not an independent issue. Illegal immigration is an American issue. The people of this nation have clearly stated they want it taken care of, and we are following our president's lead, our governor's lead, but more importantly, we are listening to the people of America. Next question. Sure. So obviously I wasn't out there doing the eradication myself. Chief, do you feel comfortable talking details on this?
Well, I can give
What you can?
very brief. We don't speak to tactics in the investigation. However, the vehicle was stopped in a county north of here. Again, FHP did the interdiction, and you see the results here. So that's all I'm prepared to say.
There you go. We won't go into more detail. We're not going to jeopardize ongoing investigations. We want to look out for their safety and ongoing actions or things that could also be happening. Okay? We will release more information as soon as it's available.
Why are the bad guys taking aim on Florida's coast, Florida's roads?
Well, you know, I have a suspicion that a lot of that, when we locked down our border, they had to move their operations. They had to change how they approach this. Let's look at this operationally. If your A door is closed, you got to find a window or another way in to where you're trying to get to. They want to distribute this across our state, so across the nation. So they came across in a truck. They're going to have to find ways when the border isn't available. So again, laws matter, following our laws matters, but enforcing those laws is incredibly important. To have a president who has shut our border down, a president who has enabled states to step up and lead via 287G agreements, you see a lot of great things happening. The secondary characteristic of that is that we have shifted how we can help eradicate drugs and everything else that have been historically flowing across our southern border and take care of them, because now they have to travel a way that's less protected and less open. I think that's why you see this happening. Anybody else? Well, unfortunately, we find ourselves in a unique space federally right now. We're going to control those here, and you can probably talk to them offline, but they are not able to speak right now. All right. With that, guys, thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to be here today and talk through everything that we've gone and done right here. Stay tuned. We're going to keep working. We're going to keep pushing. And we're going to keep keeping our cities, our counties, and our state free and safe. And again, God bless each of you. And I see our military members here as well. Thank you guys for being here and being a part of this. Thank you. God bless.